Alright boys, so I wanted to talk about this Halloween campaign going on over on the JP version of the game because this actually brings up two interesting points in regards to how free-to-play servants are going to function going forward. And I was going back and forth. I was like, should I make a video on it? Should I talk about it? But I was like, I like doing these discussion type videos and kind of talking with the community, kind of gauging where people are at in regards to what they think about what they're doing, and also just what people think they could do to improve whatever they are currently doing. Just kind of stuff like that. Just generally talking about what's going on in FGO. So I was like, I'll go ahead and I'll do this because this also might just be good for NA players who don't really know that you have an opportunity to get these free-to-play servants back after they leave and like their main events are gone. Because we all know that there is the main event where you can get the free-to-play servant NP5. There is one event where they come back, and then after that, it used to be just like, you're completely out of luck. You know, you missed the servant, you missed their rerun, you're not getting them. But we have these things called main interludes, and so they would bring back these free-to-play servants, but the only downside is that you'd only be able to get them at NP1. You could only get one copy, but in this Halloween comeback campaign, we have a very interesting line here. Extra NP copies and or like servant coins for these limited servants can be obtained at a later event, meaning not only are they now bringing back the free-to-play servants, but the only issue was like, because I was dreading the idea of getting a Kentucky Rider on the JP version of the game that's NP1, or like a Chloe at NP1. Servants that are like really broken, very good, but you really desperately want them to be NP5 to get the most out of them. But now they're going to bring back a way to get extra copies. That's really good, right? Because that means we can finally start getting these NP5 or higher copies. And even if you start playing the game late, you'll still be able to eventually get that free-to-play servant NP5. Currently, even if you missed the main interlude for BB and Altera over here, you can buy them for 5 gold cubes, which I know might be kind of like a tall order to ask people, because the only way you can get gold cubes is by selling off a 4-star or higher servant, which I don't know about you guys. I mean, I used to roll quite heavily on the NA version, and even I don't have a whole lot of gold cubes because a lot of my servants are like NP4 of 5, right? A lot of like the 4-star servants. So it's like I could definitely start selling some off, but I still have an NP5 a lot of them. Like a lot of them are still stuck in that NP4 range. So, you know, gold cubes can be kind of annoying to get a hold of, but they are starting to give them away more and more when it comes to like login bonuses for big events or big times of the year. So if you kind of hoard those up and wait for good free-to-play servants like BB to come out, or Jalter Zerk, or Kentucky Rider, Sieg, Shiki, people like that, very good servants to like hold your cubes for and just try to unlock with those. I think that could actually be a really good option to go for. Because the other thing that we have over here is that they're releasing free-to-play servants in batches now. Because look at this. All of the Elizabeth servants are going to become available. Like, that was kind of the issue we had with them releasing free-to-play servants, is they were doing it really slow. Like, you know, we had Altera, and then we had BB, and then they didn't do any other ones. Like, they were just like, yeah, never mind. No more free-to-play servants. We were doing it a little consistently, and they just completely dropped it. And now they're just like, we'll just drop 3 at a time. Now, unfortunately for this batch, all 3 of the Elizabeth servants, if you go to the free-to-play tier list video I did, I don't really have a high opinion on any of them, except for Mecha Liz, because she can be used in some farming comps. She is a decent beat stick because she has the battery and does decent damage as an alter ego as well. She's like generally applicable, like splashable in a lot of team comps, because, you know, you could bring her to fight riders, assassins, zerks, or casters, right? Like you could just splash her in all of those. But excuse me, like the other 2 Elizabeths, it's like the Halloween one you would think has viability as like an AoE buster caster, but she hits like a wet noodle even at NP5. And granted, that is because outside of, you know, Saber Lily, who's a little odd, like she's technically a free-to-play servant, but, you know, she got the ascensions and everything, and she was like a login bonus for day 1. So aside from like Saber Lily, Halloween Liz was like the first free-to-play servant, and that's probably why she's complete dookie dog water, and they didn't make her hit very hard because they were like, ooh, we don't want to make her broken or anything if she's free. And then you have Brave Liz, who you can kind of use as like a beat stick, basically. That's kind of all you can really use her for, and even then she doesn't do the best at it, like because she's an NP5 and she's a more like year 2 free-to-play servant. She does do decent damage, but she's very wonkily built. Clearly, they're going for like a gimmick with her whole third skill, but if they let you pick the buff you got, I think they make her like infinitely better. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video kind of talking about this. I want to kind of gauge you guys' thoughts. So like, do you think this would be something they consistently keep up with? Do you think they'll keep releasing these free-to-play servants in batches? And more so, do you think they're going to continue up with this? Because once FGO or like a lot of these mobile games start a trend, they usually start to move more in that direction, right? Like, so we got a free 5-star ticket, and so it was like, it's a matter of time before we get another one, and we did get another one, right? So it's like, once they start doing things, we can expect it to happen more and more often. Like, Emiya got his third skill buffed for a second time, right? Which I believe he's the first servant to ever have like a double buff on one item, right? Whether it be a skill or an NP. He's the first one to have it buffed twice. And so now that we know that they will do that, we can expect them to start doing that, right? Like, once something starts to trend in a direction, we can expect it to happen more and more often. So do you guys think we'll start to get like more batches of these? Because the other batches we could get are like Christmas servants. So like when Christmas comes around, because this is obviously Halloween themed and Elizabeth has like 50 billion Halloween servants. But once Christmas comes around, we can expect like Santa Altar, Santa Lily, we can expect Santa Nightingale, Santa Karna. Like, all of these guys can like be thrown into a whole batch together. And I think that could actually be really good, because a lot of those Christmas servants now, those are more decent servants, especially like Lily, because she has the battery and she hits really hard. And then you have Santa Nightingale, who's a very good like plug suit in type of character, because she just has a lot of very general good buffs. And then I believe Karna wouldn't be with them, because I think Beatrice's event is going on a rerun this year, because she came out last year, so he wouldn't be in that batch. But then you could also slap in Santa Altar, and she's decent. Like, she's not bad. Like, she is just a really big beat stick. Like, she does do really good damage. The problem is that like she needs a battery or something. She really needs help. So hopefully they slap buffs. That's the only other unfortunate thing. I really wish they would have slapped buffs on all three of them. Be like, hey, we're making them available again. Then we're giving you free copies. And then we're also going to give them a buff. I think that would have been really nice. Especially because we are kind of in a lull period right now. If they wanted to take this lull kind of dead week for FGO JP and be like, we're just going to buff a lot of servants in the dead week, then go to events, I would kind of like that format moving forward. Like, if it was just like event, buff period, event, buff period. I think that could be really exciting. But no, they were like, we don't want to buff the Elizabeths, even though they're probably some of the free-to-play servants that need it the most desperately. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about them bringing back these servants in basically groups, right? And then also making it available for you to get them NP5. Because, again, once they start doing something, they tend to start moving in that direction. They don't go back. Even though the funny thing with like the 5-star ticket, maybe somebody will bring it up in the comments or something, but when they tried to release the 5-star ticket, a lot of the executives and stuff got really mad because they thought they're going to lose a lot of money. So it's like Delightworks actually took a huge risk like throwing that out there, because a lot of their shareholders and stuff were like really upset about it. They were like, dude, you can't just be giving away like free high rarity servants. What are you doing? So I think stuff like that is funny, but they seem to just kind of like still move in that direction. Even though like the first time they were told like absolutely don't do it, they still did it twice. So it's like, you know, I don't know. Like, I think we could expect to see this in the future. I don't know what other batches we could get. That also could be interesting. Leave in the comments down below, like, what other batches of servants you think we could get. Because I think the Santa one, or like for Christmas, is pretty easy. Like, that's a really easy one to package, because they're all Christmas servants, you know? So put them all together. Maybe all the summer servants. So you could do like, dude, a batch of Summer Skahawk, she's not very good, right? But whatever. Like, forget her. But then you get like Ryder Ishtar. Ryder Ishtar's really good. Then you can get like Summer Jalter in that batch. Really good. Then you get Saber Hokusai in that batch. Again, another very good servant. And then, well, actually, would you, yeah, because Summer 5 has already had its rerun. So you could also get the Summer U again. So it's like, that actually, if the Summer 5 patch box, whatever comes out, you get a very strong Buster, Arts, and Quick free-to-play servant that are all really good and very, like, just generally good, that I would still consider, like, using in all my team comps to fight bosses to this day. Like, they're still very good, even in current JP standards. So that would actually be a really, really good box, because they're like, ooh, like, I'm gonna get, like, 3 really powerful single targets for each card type. So Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace, late guys.